This
Sessions will start
conference
with
will
the
now be recorded.
server, that how we can see that what are different uh, behavior of the different components of Duck Creek. So let's start the session. So this say that the, we have a three-tier architecture in Duck Creek. So three-tier multi-tier architecture are often used when describing how clients are going to connect with the servers. Okay, if we'll see the left-hand side of this diagram, that we have a three-tier architecture in which we have three layers. One is a client tier, second is a business logic tier, and third is a database tier. So tier will be having our client computers or the end users. We can say that business logic tier is a tier will be having our code. So we'll be writing our code under this section, and a database tier is a place where we'll be storing our data. So we might be feeling that it is very much similar to any of the simple programming languages that we'll be using, or that we have used in the past. Okay, so if we'll compare this with C Sharp or .NET, so it's the same thing or the same structure that those languages follows. So, so one thing that I would like to tell over here is that Duck Creek is a tool which is based on .NET. Okay, so C Sharp is a backend for this tool, so it follows the same structure. So in the right, if you see this pie chart over here, so we have a pie chart, and in this displays like we have first this presentation logic tier, so which will be access to the web browsers. So we can say that this is in the content in the form of HTML. So basically, this is the client tier. We can say that. Then we have the business logic tier and data access logic, and we can see that a pipeline which is connected towards the presentation logic and data access logic. That means the business logic always intervenes between presentation logic and data access logic and helps the movement of the code from one place to the other place. Okay, then we have the data access logic, which is connected to business logic, so which will give the commands to it and it works. And finally, it is connected to database to retrieve the information from the system. This is a very basic architecture that we have seen in the past as well, and we are following the same in Duck Creek. Okay, so any questions to anyone?
No, we are good.
Okay, so again, same thing, that the topmost layer of the application is a UI or user interface. So the main function of this interface is to translate tasks and results to something that user can understand. So basically, Decoratic works with the XML as well. I mean, the output that we'll be getting, output result, that's in the form of XML. But XML is not that human readable form. So this the final layer is set such that it can be a human understandable form. Okay, so that's the UI part. And the middle layer is it coordinates with the application, processes commands, make logical decisions, evaluations, and performs calculations. So basically, business logic does all the main operations that a system should do. It's more like a CPU of a system. Okay, it interprets the results, it intervenes between different layers, it helps in flowing the results. So that's the main purpose of this business logic layer. And third is database tier. So here we have to store our information. Okay, then this should be passed back to the business logic tier, then again passed back to the client tier. So basically, the third one is a data tier, which helps it to store and retrieval of the data. So it also helps as a acts as a SOA, that is service oriented architecture, that describes the building of application as a software as service, application as software services, and different disparate departments within a company may develop SOA. So these uses REST and web services. So this is what, in the terms of, if we'll go deep into Duck Creek, And if we try to understand this architecture, this is how it looks like. So we have different entities present over here. So I'll start explaining one by one over here, and please interrupt me in between if you have any questions. Okay. So first we have the client come browsers. So client browsers are nothing but the applications, or we can say the UI, user interface, where the clients or the end users will see the results. Then we have some partner application. So partner application is a kind of a third party applications, like some web services, like Pitney Bowls, okay, like some address verification, like some win verification, like that. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Then the first term comes is an example author. So what is example author? Okay, so example author is nothing but a tool where we will be writing our codes. So let's say if you're working in C Sharp, then most probably we'll be working in Visual Studio, which is an IDE, right? In Visual Studio, we'll be creating class code, classes, right? So if you work in Duck Creek, then we need to write codes in example author. Okay, so we can relate these things so that we can understand it in a better way. Okay, like Visual Studio is an IDE which helps writing code. Likewise, you can say example author is the IDE which can or which helps writing code in Duck Creek. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have example express. So example express has a role to convert whatever input it gets as a XML to some human readable form, right? Because internally, what happens? System converts everything, do some manipulations, do some calculations, and give the results back in some raw form. Raw form, what we can say as a XML. So we need to convert it into human readable form. Okay, so we converts it. So it converts it. Example Express converts it into the human readable form, that is HTML or maybe PDF, Word, whatever format it is, whatever format required. And third is example server. What is example server? So example server is nothing but the just a backbone of system. Okay, whatever happens in the system, it's done through the intervention of example server only. So example server always intervene between all the commands, all the processes happening inside the system. It's more like a CPU of our computer system, right? If any calculation is happening, anything is happening, CPU gives commands and other components just process it. Okay, CPU is like a monitor, right? It monitors everything. It intervenes anything, everything. It witnesses everything. So in the same way, we have example server. So whatever instructions coming, going back, it's all with the intervention of the example server. Last is the database server. Okay, so database server is again the same thing. We used to keep it to storing our information, storing our data, and retrieving when it's required.
So we'll
Okay,
be storing XML data into database server.
we store XML as well, and we store in the same our tables as well. We store
Oh,
all
okay.
both the things. Okay, so now let's understand the flow, that how it works. Okay, so we can see here, first we have the client browsers over here. Okay, so first client entered some information, like we've entered something like, let's say if we'll talk about insurance, I've entered like my name, address, city, zip code, my coverages and all I've entered over here in the cloud browsers. Okay, now the end user's results is completed. End users work is completed. They just need to enter the information. They've entered it. Their work is done. Now the work of our duck click system will start to give the final result. And what's the final result for them? It's a premium, right? That's what they wanted to see. So we need to show them the final result. So client browsers has taken the inputs. Now Example Express has a role to convert that input, which is not in the form of XML. Maybe it's in the form of HTML or any other format. So it needs to convert in the XML so that the internal system can understand XML. The system can understand XML. Where we have seen that we have the flow for HTML, and as soon as it comes to Example Express, it is converted into XML because our system works or understand XML. Okay. Now Example Express has a data available with it. Now Example Express straight away give all the commands to example server without thinking with the second thought. Okay, because they don't have pass or they don't have that much intensity or intention to solve the problem. They have just their only one role, and the role is to convert the whatever syntax, whatever format they get in the XML. Okay, so they have converted all the HTML to XML and give all the processes or all the inputs they have to the example server. Now, example server comes into picture and plays a very vital role over here. So it has all the input commands. Now it's on example server how to process it, how to dearrange them, how to arrange them and give back result to the client browsers. So what they will do now? So they have the commands. Now they will divide or they will you know divide the command into small chunks. Okay, and it allows every system to do their work, or we can say it instruct every system to do the work. For example, if some commands is coming over here in the example server, then let's say in the input we have VIN, vehicle identification number, which is used in US for each and every vehicle. Okay, so for that VIN number, we want the information for the vehicle. So basically, what it will do, it will give the XML to the partner application over here. Now the partner application third party has a role to play. What they will do, they will send this VIN to the third party and will get the results. Okay, for the VIN, they will get the vehicle name, year, make, model, everything information will be taken and given back to the example server. Okay, now we need to write or we need to run some code on the input that we have. That input, it will be given to the example author. It will run the code on that input and give back result to the example server. Again, if some retrieval is there, then again it will get back to the database server, retrieve results in the server, again go back to the example author. Again with that, they will process the results. Again, it will come back to example server, and then again it will convert it back to example express or given back to example express. Okay, now it's in the form of XML. Again, this XML is converted into the form of HTML because that say we need it in a human readable form. So it's given back over here in the example express, and then it will be given back to the client browsers. So that's a very basic and very generic flow of a TCT example platform. Is it clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions to anyone till here?
I am asking one thing. What is the input for the partner application in XML format?
Yeah, okay. So you must be aware with the WIN, vehicle identification number that's we used
Yeah.
in
Bit.
using
Yeah.
class, right? Right.
Yeah.
So that's some 10 to 15 digits number. Okay. So user has entered the win over here.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
That win is
Hmm.
taken by example express. Okay. and that is given to example server. Now example server has a role to play, that it will divide the information and give it back to respective components to do their business. Okay, let's say win number is received over here. Now example server has to give it to partner application so that the other information will be retrieved. So here they will give the information.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So we can say that this is more likely a client tier. This is a business logic tier. This is a database tier. So this is how it is, and we've divided it into three tiers. And this is a presentation logic. So here will be all the presentation logic, or we can say the system to convert our inputs to output resides over here. And the business logic is example server. So, so what is example server? Yeah, sorry. So example server is nothing but it's a server which controls and tracks for each and every responsibilities happening inside the system. Okay, so basically we can say that this is a CPU of our system. If you'll see your system, if you open the calculator in our computer system, or if you'll play some music, browse some content, so example server takes all the commands and instruct different components to do the operations for you. That's the examples. So that's the same kind of role which is played by the example server. Okay, so let's talk about the specific roles that it plays. So first one is the rating. Rating is nothing but the pricing. So the pricing calculation, or we can say the premium calculation, is done through the example server. So it instructs different components, like it instructs example author, example express, even database, and third party web services. It instructs everyone to do their job, to make sure that input is given to each of the system, and it takes back the output from them and give away the necessary outputs to each and every component to make sure that every component work as expected. Like example author needs some database values. So it's the responsibility of example server that that our example author gets the desired values from the example from the database, and it will retrieve back and it will give back to the example author. So retrieving intervenes in all the operations which is happening inside the system. It witnesses all the operations and it helps different components to interact with other components as well. So that's a role of example server, and specifically in the terms of rating. And second one is the rules. So rules is nothing but the code that we have written. Okay, so to run the code, we need some input on which we can run the code. So it's a responsibility of example server to take the code or to take the input from the system and give it back to the example author so that rules can be run. Interfaces. So our example express interfaces or interacts with example server whenever it gets input, and again it will give back to the example server and example express. So they interact with each other in terms of whenever they need to convert the inputs and outputs. Forms. So after each transaction, we need to print forms. So example server makes sure that after completion of each forms or after completion of certain steps, if we need to generate forms, then the proper request should be fired so that forms can be generated. The next is security. So example server makes sure that no unauthorized access should be done on the system, or no some kind of attacks should not be there, some illegal activity should not be there in the system. So it always works with the security. It always makes sure that your system should be secured or data should be secure. No one else can retrieve our data. And if we have some information stored, that should be encrypted and properly decrypted after the usage. The last one is data. So it also interacts with the data, that is our DML, data access logic layer here. Okay, it helps in retrieval of the data. Okay, so whenever any component needs some data, or some in some calculation, if we need some data like table lookup is there, if we need to look up some value table, then this example server helps in that. Important role that example expert need to play, that is writing rules, interfaces, forms, security, and data. Except this, it plays many other different roles as well. But these are the 6 very important roles that example server plays. Any questions to anyone?
Would you please repeat the last data part?
Yeah. So basically, data means, uh, let's say, our example server intersects with our database tier so that they can retrieve the information. Like let's suppose example example author needs some database lookup. Okay, so it coordinates with example server. They don't have rights directly to talk with the database tier. No, they don't have rights. They have the the supervisor, example server. They talk to example server like, I need this information, please help me with that. An example server go and talk with the database tier. Okay, like for this value I need some lookup, please do the needful. Then database tier will retrieve the value, give back to example server. The example server give that same value to second example author. So basically example server is helping retrieval of the data, right?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, yeah, clear.
Any more questions to anyone?
No.
Okay. Now we'll see the role of example express, and we'll understand that. So here we can see that we have XML document. Okay. So this XML document is given by the system. Okay. Example server gives the final result in the form of XML, but XML is not much human readable. Doesn't looks good. If you can read it, but it doesn't look that convincing. So in the end, for the layman and for the business users, so that we can understand it, in a better way. We need to convert it into a human readable form, which can be HTML. So we have a XSLT transformation processor, which is there in Example Express, that converts the XML document into the HTML document, provided you have a necessary XSLT transformation style sheets. Okay. So XSLT transformation style sheets are nothing but we can for understanding, we can say that this is a CSS file. Okay, like HTML CSS, we have HTML, and for designing, we use Cascade style sheets, right? CSS files. In the same fashion, we are using XSLT transformation style sheet for XML documents for the styling and for a proper formatting. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
That XML we have input and we are adding XSLT to that, and with the help of XSLT processor, we're converting it into the immutable form, which is XML, HTML, PDF, WML, etc. These are the immutable form. Here also we can see that we have this XML document with the XSLT, we are passing it, and this we're doing a XSLT transformation, which will convert that into the XML document. So any queries till now?
No.
No.
Okay. So we all are clear about what is example express, what is example author, what is example server. All good?
Yeah.
Mm.
Can any one of you explain me that what is example author?
So example author is like CPU where every rating calculation and all happens there. So it's like I mean author is a tool where we build all the things code and all. So example server where the rating part all the calculation will happen.
Getting CPU. Example, A is the CPU. Server is the CPU.
Okay.
Yeah. Author is like tool where we build all the main code.
And wait for the responses.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good that we are understanding it. So yeah. So if any questions to anyone, then please let me know right now. We'll give 5 minutes to you. I'll give 5 minutes to you, and I'll again repeat the slides. I mean, go one by one to all the slides. And if you have any questions, any doubts, you can stop me. So I'll stop on each and every slide for 1 minute or so. You can see that again, and if you come back to me if you have any questions.
Okay. So for today, this is the end of the session.
Yeah, almost. It's our first session, so we'll end it here only.
Okay. So it means
And
I have some questions to you. So I don't know your good name.
Yeah,
Hello,
yeah, this is Rachel this side.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question not regarding this session. So, I
Okay.
mean, actually, I'm working in IT for 4 years, okay, in insurance domain. So,
Mhm.
actually, I'm certified in Duck Creek policy and billing as well.
Okay.
So, I need your assistance for cracking interviews. So, for interview preparation and all. So, I mean, when I did certification and all, I worked on Author, Express, Forms, billing. Creating a bill plan and invoice generation, all these things.
Mhm.
So you are working on policy module or billing module or claims
Currently, I'm working on policy only.
policy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the chances? What are the chances that we can get opportunities out there? So earlier you had some training batches, right? So some of them got, I mean, placed in, I mean, got entered into Duck Creek in any companies.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I think for my experience, I think it will be easy only, right?
Yes, yes.
So actually, so what happened is like, so my client is migrating into Duck Creek. So actually, Accenture is working on development project, but IBM got till now we got testing. Testing is happening. I'm working on the testing. So, but some of the folks in IBM also got trained into the Duck Creek. So we have that boot camp in our campus. So that's how I got trained into Duck Creek. So what is the way that I can enter into other organization into Duck Creek? Like I can keep as the testing experience 1 year as a development experience in resume, something like that.
Yeah, you can do that. You are in IBM currently.
Yeah, in currently I'm in IBM. So we are working on testing actually.
Mhm.
Okay. So Accenture is working on development. So as bidding is happening. So for that to show, I mean to showcase that IBM also have some Duck Creek resources. So some of the Spoks were trained onto that Duck Creek billing and policy boot camps. So that's how I got trained. So I have experience in testing, how the scenario testing and all. So is it easy, right? To I mean at least for if I keep as 1 year experience. Will they can catch like IBM is not having Duck Creek, right? Actually recently IBM also started into Duck Creek, so we got one project Chubb in claims side. So our
Mhm.
project is also going went for bidding, but result is not yet came. So is there chances? What I want to know, for that is the main reason that I am joining into this training session. So I need your help your assistance for cracking interviews where they might have some practical questions, right, on real hands-on questions where they can catch. So that's what I am expecting from you. That is the main reason I'm joining this training session.
Yeah, obviously you'll be getting some advantage for that. You have the certification, and
Yeah, I have
moreover,
certification.
you are also working in an organization which is working in
Yeah.
Duck. Yes. So I'll recommend you after the sessions you can start applying. I can also help you in that as well. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'll help you with the interview questions and the way to crack it. So
Sure.
I'll be helping with that. And how much
Yeah.
years of experience you have?
I have total experience of 4 years.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Okay. Okay.
That's good because you
Okay.
don't have much experience. That's good.
Four experience in insurance domain.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's what I'm saying. If you have 7 to 8 years experience, then that might be some challenging task. But yes, 4 years
Okay.
experience is good. You can showcase like, and also you know insurance. You're Duck Creek certified. You're working in IBM, which is working Duck Creek. You know
Yeah.
some little bit Duck Creek as well. You've cleared
Yeah.
certification. So
Yeah. Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
is there in your favor only. So ball is
Okay.
with you. So yes, we just need to play it
Okay.
smartly. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Actually, I worked in mainframe like for 2.8 years. After that, we got, I mean, IBM got a Duck Creek testing part something. So I started working
Mm.
into that. So I can
Okay.
keep as 1.1 plus years as a Duck Creek experience, something like that, right? In resumes.
Yes. Yeah, that we need to go about.
So I need your help in resume and all interview cracking. So I'm looking forward for that.
Not sure.
Yeah. Thanks.
What about Joy?
Yeah, yeah. I have an experience of 5 years and 10 months. I am working in CTS field, and I currently I am working in banking domain. But I used to work in insurance domain for about 4.5 years. Okay, and I was mainly in functional testing. Now I worked for about 1.5 years in the guideware tool. That the reason why I am trying to learn the Duckweed tool is that I want to learn this and you make a switch to another company.
Okay. So you're in Kolkata, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And Subhash is in Bangalore.
No, Hyderabad.
Wait a minute.
So you are from Bangalore,
Yeah, Mumbai.
Mumbai. Okay.
Okay, guys. So no problem. I hope time is not a constraint with you. We'll be having morning sessions as well. So we don't keep it very schedule very tight or very hectic. Okay.
Okay.
We'll go slowly, not too fast, not too slow. Okay.
Okay.
2 to 3 days in week and rest on weekends. So that will be covering 6 to 7 hours per week. So that it's also easy for you to understand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
And today we have done it a little bit early because it was our first session.
Yeah.
Going forward, we'll be having a minimum of at least 45 minutes of session, at least we'll be having.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so that is it. And I hope that it will be a good session for us. And I'll try my level best to convince you and to help you in your goals, whatever you have. Now, that's not
Mm.
only your goals, that's my goal as well. So we'll try to fulfill our goals together and we'll try to achieve something good for which we came here or here. And I hope that our
Mm.
goal will be filled very soon. So I'm looking
Sure.
forward to you. I'll be sharing these documents with you and sharing other documents with you as well. Only one simple request, just try to read whatever we'll cover on day so that while coming to next session, try to cover that. If you'll miss one, then it might be a problem for you in the next coming session. Okay,
Sure.
because slowly,
You will
slowly,
share this recording with us, right?
yes, we'll share recording.
Okay.
Okay, then, guys, we'll see you tomorrow, same timing.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay. Sure.
okay,
Yeah.
then. Yeah, thank you all. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Agaram, Mhm.